Welcome to the December 13th, 2023 meeting of the Culver City Democratic Club. Tonight we are joined by numerous candidates who are seeking our endorsement for the March primary election. We'll hear from each of them for 3 minutes. We'll go in ballot order. So the first office is United States Congress. District 36, is Ted Lieu in the house? Anyone from Ted's campaign? Okay.
I do not see Congressmember Lieu in here unless he has a staff member present.
Happy to hear from him if he pops in later. Next,
Sure.
U.S. Congress District 37, Sidney Comlinger or Adam Carmichael. Okay. State Assembly District AD 55, Isaac Bryan. I should say that Assemblymember Bryan and Congressmember Lieu do not have Democratic opponents, so we'll be just voting on whether to endorse them or not. But all right, so we'll move on to County Supervisor, LA County 2nd District. Holly Mitchell, Daphne Bradford, Clint Carlton, Katrina Williams. Okay. Next one, I know we have some people. LA County District Attorney. Deborah Archuleta. Are you here? Jeff Chemerinsky. George Gascon. Jonathan Tommy. Dan Kaplowitz. Lloyd Masson. John McKinney.
Hello. I'm
Right.
here.
We have a hit. Let me spotlight you and Gina will start the timer.
Oh, hold on. I hid the timer thing from myself. Whoops. Oh, there we are. All right, go ahead.
How much time do I? Oh, 3 minutes. It's quite a bit of time. So, hey, good evening, everybody. Thank you for giving me an opportunity to introduce myself to you. I apologize for the ambient noise. I am at an event tonight, but I wanted to pop out to make sure I had a chance to let you know that
requested use waiver by Saturday.
I am running for district attorney. I am a 25-year veteran of the district attorney's office, and I want to bring all of the experience that I've learned over the last 25 years to bear in leading the office. To tell you a little bit more about me, I am a lifelong Democrat, a proud Democrat. I became a Democrat back in 1988, growing up in Passaic, New Jersey. Life dealt me a pretty difficult hand to start with. I lost both of my parents by the time I was in kindergarten. I was raised by my elder sister, and I became a young man during the crack cocaine epidemic. I was attracted to the Democratic Party because the party's values resonated with me, and the party spoke for people like me. The party fought to make sure that people born into the circumstances that I was born into had a shot at the American dream, had a shot at a high quality education and a profession. And so I worked hard. I played by the rules. I put myself through college at Rutgers. I had an opportunity to come out here, out west, to attend one of the best law schools in the country. I did that at UCLA. And after graduating from UCLA, I spent the next 25 years of my life in public service, working for the district attorney's office. In the district attorney's office, I've always been committed to the fair, just, and proportional application of the law. I've been very committed to supporting victims of all communities across Los Angeles. And I've had amassed quite an excellent record, over 25 years of service to the people of Los Angeles County. I'm very familiar with the Culver City area. When I was in law school, I lived in Palms, which is just adjacent to Culver City. So I spent a lot of time in Culver City. And I understand some of the challenges facing the residents of Culver City, that being street crime, businesses being ravaged by thefts, and some of the disorder that has come from the street habitation that we see all over the county. So I'm asking for your support for district attorney. We have a leader in the district attorney's office now who's been in power for 3 years, and his policies simply are not working. Los Angelenos feel less safe today than they did 3 years ago when he took over. I believe I'm the best option to lead the office into the future. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. McKinney. Is Craig Mitchell on hand, or someone from his campaign? Okay, how about Maria Ramirez? And Eric Siddle? Okay, so let me move on to Superior Court, Office 12. Is Rhonda Heyman here? How about Lynn Olson? Okay, Superior Court, Office 39. Is Michael Berg here?
I am here, but I'm actually in 137.
Okay, we'll come back to you. And I'll take you off at a ballot. Thank you. Rhonda Dixon. Jacob Lee.
Hi, good evening, everyone.
Hi, let me spotlight you for a second. All right, and Gina will start the timer for you. Thanks.
All right, good evening, everyone. Thank you so much for having me tonight. I'm very glad to be here today. I actually live pretty close to Culver City. I live in West Adams. I've been living here for some time now, so I'm very glad to be here today with you all. But to share a little bit about my background, I've been a deputy district attorney for over 10 years in 2 different offices, actually, in Fresno County and also Los Angeles, where I currently am. But to share a little bit about how my journey as a DA even started, it started with my parents who immigrated from South Korea. When they immigrated to Los Angeles, shortly after they arrived, they were each robbed. My mom was robbed twice. My father was robbed once at gunpoint, and they never reported these crimes to the police. I never understood why, and I asked them as I grew up a little bit when I was a little bit older. And my parents said that they never reported the crimes because they were afraid of the police. The police did not look like them. They were intimidating. They didn't speak their language. My parents did not speak English at the time. And so they were intimidated by the criminal justice system of their new country. That always stuck with me because I felt that, especially when you immigrated to a new country, that you should feel confident and you should feel safe in the community. And I always wanted to be a voice in the criminal justice system to help people like my parents. And so that's why I went to law school. And after graduating, I dedicated my career to public service, specifically by becoming a deputy district attorney, so that I can become the voice for people like my parents. It's the reason why every single day I work very hard fighting for justice, so that I can know the inner workings of the criminal justice system, so that I can proudly say that I now know the criminal justice system that my parents were so scared of before. But in terms of the way I've been doing my work as a DA, is not simply about putting people in jail. Certainly for certain people who have a significant record and who simply do not show a desire to change, then in those situations, we might have no choice but to put people in custody. But more often than not, we're actually resolving a lot of cases for effective programming. And that's exactly what I have been doing for quite a few years, and especially the last 2 years, where I'm a calendar DA in my office, specifically where I'm making the final offer on how to resolve very serious cases where the majority are being resolved for programming. So I completely understand that. And that's what I plan to do, even as judge, by making sure that justice is imparted equally to everyone. Thank you.
Thank you.
Is Steve Napolitano on hand? Okay, how about George Turner?
George Turner, I see him in here.
Hello, yes, I am here. I'm just trying to figure out how this thing works.
Great, let me spotlight you. Just a second.
Can you see me?
Yes.
All right, there. Gina will start the timer. Thank you for joining us.
Okay.
First of all, I'm sorry.
No, oh no, you're
Okay.
good.
Okay. First of all, let me apologize. I am in my car. I'm also out on the campaign trail. A little dressed down. I apologize. I'm usually wearing a suit and a tie, so pardon me. I am George Turner. I'm running for seat 39, Los Angeles County Superior Court Judge. I'm born and raised in the city of Inglewood. I spent a significant portion of my time growing up in Inglewood, hanging out at the Fox Hills Mall, right in the city, right in Culver City. I also spent a good amount of my time eating at the Honey Baked Ham. I love those sandwiches, so I'm there often eating there. Um, Being born and raised in South Bay slash Inglewood um, during the 1980s, I saw a lot of things. Um, and the way I like to explain it is that, over the past half century, the state of California has built 23 prisons, opened 3 colleges. I think that in many ways, many people agree that we were going in the wrong direction. And so now I see my nephews, my nieces on their way to college, and they're having less opportunities than even I did. So I graduated from Morningside High School. I went to UCLA, undergrad, and UCLA Law School. I then became a public defender. I've been a public defender for the last 15 years. My current assignment is the homeless mobile unit that I'm the deputy in charge of. Our specific edict is clearing the records of our unhoused neighbors so that they can get the opportunity to get housing and find jobs so that we can kind of end this cycle. I'm in the community every day in that capacity, knowing the sort of issues that people in our community deal with, knowing the programs that are available to them or not available to them. Um, and my desire to become a bench officer, there are a variety of reasons. One, I think that we need to begin to work toward diversifying the bench, meaning that having people from the community who reflect the community's needs, being decision makers about the issues of law. I've also had a host of bench officers who I've been in front of, who have inspired me, people of color, people who have been supportive, people who have inspired. Um, and my campaign is rather simple. What I stand for is rather simple. The goal is to be able to both uh, change the sort of black box situation that bench uh, races are, where people don't know who
Five
they're running
seconds.
for. Oh, only 5 seconds.
Yeah.
So I, I I guess I'm saying I want to sort of democratize the bench. I want people to know who I am. I want people to be able to know who their judge is, and I would ask that the Culver City Democrats consider supporting my campaign. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Turner. So now we'll move on to Superior Court Office 48. Is Malik Burrows on hand? How about Renee Rose?
Hi, I'm here.
Oh, fantastic. Let me spotlight you. Okay, and Gina will start the timer.
All right.
Thank you. Thank you very much. My name is Renee Rose. I'm running for one of those jobs on the ballot that no one seems to know, who we are. So thank you guys so much for giving us this opportunity to address your group. I grew up in the San Fernando Valley. I graduated from Southwestern Law School in 1991, and I have worked at both the Los Angeles County District Attorney's Office as well as the Riverside County District Attorney's Office. I have been a prosecutor for over 30 years. With Los Angeles, I've had assignments in the gang unit. I was the clandestine manufacturing prosecutor for labs that manufactured methamphetamine and PCP when I was in the Major Narcotics Division. I was in the arson and explosive unit, where I was one of two specially assigned DAs, where I first started to have defendants that had significant mental health issues. And currently, for the last 6.5 years, I'm the deputy in charge of the Elder and Dependent Adult Abuse Unit, where I supervise specially trained DAs. Our defendants are the adult children of my victim. We prosecute physical, financial, emotional, psychological, and neglect cases involving seniors that are 65 and older. The situation usually with my victim is that my defendants are living with them. And the reason for that is because my defendants are suffering from mental illness, they're suffering from drug addiction, and nobody else in the family, quite frankly, will take them in. Because your parents will always love you. And so this ultimately pairs the most dangerous person in the family with someone with actually the most vulnerable person. And so I have a lot of experience utilizing alternative sentencing courts, because what my victims are seeking for their adult children is treatment for mental health issues that haven't been dealt with, treatment for drug addiction, substance abuse issues. And so I'm familiar with the Office of Diversion and Reentry courts, the Women's Court, the Veterans Court. And the hope is that we can divert people out of the criminal justice system into these alternative sentencing courts. And while they're in those courts, they're going to seek the appropriate treatment that they need. And then come back out. And when they do, if they've been diverted, then they would have a better chance of getting a job because they wouldn't have the conviction, a better chance at housing. And so all of that is taken into consideration for us in my unit. A big part of my job is being part of multidisciplinary teams where doctors and psychologists and law enforcement, we all get together and we work on issues for this generation. I also got into the community and I give senior scam presentations, because information is power. And by giving seniors the tool, we hope to stop them from falling victim to this. I'm going to be the kind of judge that is going to be fair and inclusive. I'm going to work hard. I'm going to seek justice and fairness in everything that I do. I'm experienced, and I thank you very much. And frankly, we need more women judges on the bench. But thank you very much for giving me this opportunity to speak to you and ask you for your endorsement.
Thank you, Ms. Rose. Is Erica Wiley on hand?
I am here. Thank you.
Oh, great. Let me spotlight next.
Just side note, Jeff, Congress member Kamlager Dove will be coming on soon. I'll let you know when she comes on. Her staff is here, Joanna Rodriguez.
Thanks. Yes, she let me know as well.
Oh, okay, cool. Alrighty.
Attraction. Gina, do you want to cue Ms. Wiley when you're ready?
Oh, sure. Here we are. Go ahead.
Good evening. Thank you all for having me this evening. My name is Erica Wiley, and I'm a candidate for Superior Court Judge, seat number 48. I have some connection to the Culver City community, and that I attended Crozier Elementary School back in the day when my mother was both a single mother of 6 children and a student at UCLA. I also lived with her briefly in UCLA student housing, so familiar with some of the issues in the Culver City area. But certainly, I'd like to tell you a little bit about my background. I have been a public defender for 24 years. I worked in both Merced County and in Los Angeles County for the last 24 years. Daily court appearances in front of bench officers where I've gained quite a bit of experience. I've worked as a supervisor in my office as well, both supervising and training lawyers. I attended Fisk University in Nashville, Tennessee, and the University of Cincinnati. I'm running for judge because I have seen an evolution in the criminal justice system that I really want to be a part of. I have seen the recognition that the cycle of mass incarceration is not working, that criminal justice reform is needed, and I want to be a part of that. My campaign is about addressing the issues of criminal justice reform, about fair sentencing, about ending mass incarceration. And my experience is with working daily with clients who suffer from mental illness, drug abuse, things of that nature. And I believe that my experience has shown that I am dedicated to allowing people to have an opportunity to change their lives. I want your party to know that I have been a lifelong Democrat since I was the age of 18. I registered to vote and have been a Democrat all of my life. And I believe that my experience, both in the office of the public defender, working with clients, as well as my community service in terms of helping people to clear their records and working with kids in the Parks After Dark program, represent my dedication to allowing individuals in our community to see a better future. And so I hope that, again, that the Culver City Dems will consider me as the best candidate for the position. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. So let's move on to Superior Court Office 93. Is Victor Avila on the call? Okay, I'll take that as a no. Michael Berg, are you running for this office?
No, I signed up for it, but I'm running in seat 137.
Okay, great. Just wanted to check. And George Turner, how about you?
Well, he just spoke.
He did, but people can run for more than one office, and some of these people are on the ballot multiple times.
Oh, well, then they don't need to speak more than once, then, right? If
That's
No.
true.
Can I help you a bit? Victor Avila is running unopposed, so he's basically already won.
Okay, so that doesn't mean we're going to endorse him, but good to know. So I'll take Mr. Turner off of the endorsement ballot unless he tells me otherwise. Okay. Office 97. Sam Aberoshed. I'm sorry, I probably did not correctly.
Yeah, I see Sam here.
I know, I assume a lot of people are double zooming. I know this is a very busy time of the year for the candidates, so I can come back to him. How about Lachey Henderson?
Yes, I am here. I'm in my car. I apologize,
No,
but I am here.
let's let you, and then we'll get the timer going.
Okay. Hello, everyone. My name is Lachey Henderson, and I'm a part of the Defenders of Justice. As a defender of justice, I have dedicated my life to fighting for equal rights for all citizens. I have challenged antiquated ideologies that affirm mass incarceration and enforce prejudice towards those who are marginalized in our society. During my career, I have fought to implement restorative justice in our court proceedings. I have worked to create a legal system where litigants are not judged by the color of their skin, financial status, or sexual orientation, but on the merits of their case. This is why we need judicial officers from diverse backgrounds. with life experience that will bring new approaches to the criminal justice system. I am dedicated to creating an environment of dignity, professionalism, and equality in the courtroom. I will apply the law with thorough legal analysis, administer justice and fairness. My goal is to promote and encourage community organizations and outreach programs to assist individuals in the court system. I will combat recidivism by expanding the use of mental health treatment and programs for homeless communities. I was born and raised in South Central LA. Since I was a little girl, I have always been passionate about defending those with no voice. My parents taught me the principles of discipline, patience, and perseverance. They taught me how to work hard, power through prejudice and discrimination, and achieve results. I will bring those same qualities to the bench. When I was just 12 years old, the dynamics in my family changed when my father's disability forced him to retire early. And in order to support us, my mother had to go back to school while I took care of my 4 younger siblings. While I was in law school and studying for the bar, both of my parents passed away. I found myself navigating the legal system as a litigant to become a legal guardian for my siblings. During this time period, I mourned the loss of my parents while raising my siblings and studying for the bar. I have worked as a counselor, youth minister, mentor, and life coach for teens. I am passionate about juvenile rights, and I am currently an adjunct professor at Pepperdine. I served as a public defender for 18 years. I have litigated misdemeanors, felonies, civil contempt cases, child support cases, and juvenile petitions. And I've also worked in the racial justice unit. As a Black woman and a public defender, I have observed firsthand the injustices of our system. Vote for me, Lachey Henderson, for Judge of the Superior Court, seat 97. Thank you for your time.
Thank you, Ms. Henderson.
Thank you.
Is Sam Abrochet, can you hear me? Okay, I also sent Sam a DM, so if he pops up later, we'll put him on. Meanwhile, let's move on to Sharon Ransom.
Hi, I'm here.
Fantastic. Let me spotlight you just a second. Okay, welcome.
Thank you. Is the timer on?
You are good to go. Sorry, there we go.
Okay. Good evening, Culver City Democrats. Thank you for having me tonight. I am at the same event as John McKinney, so I'm sitting in my car, so excuse my background. I'm Sharon Ransom. I'm running for a judge in seat 97. A little bit about me. I am a true Angelino and a lifelong Democrat. I was born and raised in South Central Los Angeles. I was raised by a single mom. I became a single mom at the age of 21. I put myself through school while working full-time as a sheriff's dispatcher and raising my young daughter. I was diagnosed with cancer at the age of 30, and I didn't become an attorney until I was almost 40. And I'm telling you this to tell you that I am true diversity. I have been in the community in South Central Los Angeles. I hung out at the Fox Hills Mall, as I believe one of the other candidates said. I was at the mall the other day because that is my mall. But a little bit about my background. I've been a deputy district attorney for 18 years. I have been in several units, major narcotics, elder abuse with Renee Rose. She was my supervisor, and general trials. And now I'm assigned to the mental health unit. And in the mental health unit, that's probably the most exciting unit I've been in because there I have a chance to really make a difference and not focus so much on incarceration, but we instead treat people that are suffering from mental illness that have committed a crime. And at the end of their programming, they're able to get housing and able to get treatment. And so that's one of the best units that I've been in. I've been involved in my community. I've taught Project Lead to fifth graders. I've been involved in teen court, where it's a diversion program for teenagers so that their records are sealed on their first offense. I've trained advocates on how to deal with victims of sexual assaults. I've been a breast cancer counselor, and I've been in the community. And I'm running for judge because I love my community, and I think that we need to see more diversity on the bench. We need to see people that look like us, that are making decisions for us, because a decision can go a long way in someone's life, and the bad decision could be at that person's detriment. But we need people who are experienced, who know the community, who are in the community, not judges that are live somewhere else and then they come and make decisions about what goes on here. We need diversity. There are less than 5% are Black women on the bench. And so I represent all of that. I'm the most qualified in my seat, with life and legal experience. And I am just hoping that to get your endorsement. I will have my website up and running and you can learn a lot more about me, but that's me in a nutshell. And I really hope to get this club's endorsement. Thank you for having us this evening.
Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Ransom. So let's move on to Superior Court Office 115. Christmas Brookins, are you with us?
I am here.
Great.
Hello.
Me invite you. Oh, welcome. Please go ahead.
Miss Christmas Brookins. I'm probably the only one that is not a native Los Angelino. I'm a native New Yorker. At 12 years old, I was adopted. I've been placed in foster care ever since I was a baby. And I stood in front of a judge. And she asked me, did I want to be adopted? And I told her no. She never inquired why I felt that way. That was my first experience with the judicial system. And that judge set me on a trajectory.
Sorry, I don't mean to
that by the time I was 16 years old, found me lead.
I think we're losing you here.
Yeah, Christmas, can you hear us? Brookins?
You might want to turn off your camera. It looks like you have a weak signal strength.
I can hear you.
Okay, we can hear you. Go ahead.
Okay, can you hear me?
Yes.
Better, thanks.
Okay, so, now I got to rush it. That decision sent me on a trajectory at 16 years old where I left home, I came to California, and I have made California my home. I chose it at 16. I stayed in California constantly thinking, what would I do with my life? Always fighting being fringe homeless. Eventually, 6 years later, I ended up joining the military. And I don't know if this is one thing people do not know about the military. It's a weird situation that if you're an enlisted person and you don't suffer any kind of injuries, when you separate, even as an honorable discharge, your benefits are very limited. And it's not surprising that I find often a lot of unhoused individuals or people who were enlisted in the military. When I got out of the military, I went to Pepperdine, I went to UC Berkeley and then Pepperdine Law School. And I still didn't know what I wanted to do with my life. I just knew one thing. I needed a skill. I needed a skill that I can rely on so that I would never have to worry about being fringe homeless. And I was still angry about what had happened. I found myself becoming a deputy district attorney. It was not a job I sought, but a job I fell into. And I've been a deputy DA for 18 years. I've worked in the victim impact unit dealing with domestic violence, murders, and child molestation and child murder cases. I eventually went to the sex crimes, human trafficking division, where I dealt with a lot of cases where a lot of the young victims look like me. Eventually, I became a calendar DA where I worked to settle cases. And I noticed that feeling that I felt when the court did not even ask me what I felt and what I needed, I saw that in people who came in every day. And I became a judge because I want to give humanity back to those people. Thank you.
Thank you. Jeff, I saw District Attorney Gascon, he's joined us now. So I know that we kind of had passed that already, but I don't know if you want to circle back or not.
Hello, everyone.
Hello.
Sure, if you can you hear me okay?
Yeah, let me spotlight you just a second, and Gino will give you 3 minutes. So please go ahead.
All righty. Yeah, so we can hear you.
Yes. Can you hear me?
Yes, you've got 3 minutes. It's starting now.
You know, I apologize that I having sound problems here. Because we're on the road here.
We can't really hear you right now. Are you there?
Yes, I'm here. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Yes. Okay, I'm sorry. I'm having some sound problems here, but thank you so much for making the time to talk to me and accommodating me. Today has been, well, the whole week has been crazy, running all over the county, and I did not want to miss you, but I knew that I did not have enough time to get all the way back from the San Fernando Valley to you.
Okay, go on.
I'm sorry. I don't know if you.
Yeah, we can still hear you.
Go on.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you. I'm having a hard time hearing you, so that's why I'm.
Oh no, you're fine. We're just this is just your 3 minutes to just basically tell people why, to support you for your DA's race, or what, why we should endorse you as a club.
Well, let me try something else here. I think I'm gonna turn my video off, and that might actually facilitate my my speaking, because I'm just having a signal problem, I think.
Okay, you're good.
Let me see.
Can you hear us? Or if you want, George, what we can do is come back in a few minutes if that's better. Because we can't hear you now.
Yeah, I think we should come back to the district attorney. This is
okay. We'll come back to you, George, once you hopefully get a stronger signal.
I see.
All right.
Congresswoman Kamlager has joined us. So
yes,
let me put her on.
Let's see. Is she ready? Oh, there she is.
I'm here.
All right. Well, thank you for joining us. You have 3 minutes on the timer.
Oh my goodness. Culver City Dem Club. I am here in Washington, D.C. We just had to vote on whole milk in the classroom, and also opening up an inquiry to impeach Joe Biden. Earlier this week, I actually sat in my Natural Resources Committee and listened to these people try to tell me why it's important that we should consider mining in space. Yes, I said it, mining in space. So I want you to know that I am doing God's work every single day that I am here in Washington, D.C., fighting to protect our democracy, fighting to uphold truth, and really fighting to make sure that we are continuing to talk about the rights and the freedoms that all of us deserve to continue to have. I can tell you without a shadow of a doubt that these Republicans are interested in dismantling public and higher education, in taking away our rights to vote, in taking away our understanding of democracy, in taking away our ability to get affordable, accessible health care, and really taking away our ability to think for ourselves. I've always been grateful to have Culver City in my district and to be able to have your support, and also to have you all continue to push me to talk about the issues that I know you care about. Every single meeting when I am in natural resources, I am talking about Culver City. I am talking about the oil field. I am talking about climate protection. Every single day I am on the floor. I am talking about the constituents that I know, that I care about, that I listen to, and am relaying to Congress how important it is that we focus on these critical issues. So yes, I said mining in space. They wanted to talk about asteroids instead of funding the government, because what they don't want to talk about is the fact that they have labor bills and a number of other appropriation bills that are trying to gut every single aspect of our government and our social services. 3 minutes is probably up. I just thank you for the opportunity. And yes, it's a little cold. It's 35 degrees.
Thank you. Great to see you. Good luck in DC.
Mining in space. Oh God.
That's what they said.
Oh, sorry. I thought I was muted. That was in the movie Don't Look Up. If you guys have not seen that movie on Netflix, please look at it, because it will make you extremely depressed on how much satire has become reality.
So actually, in my statement, I talked about that movie, and I said exactly that same thing. And then the Republicans started shaking like this, and Gosar said, "We don't want people pontificating. You should be asking a question."
And
I was like, "No, we're going to talk about why this is ridiculous."
Wow.
Thank you so much for your work, Sydney. It is positive vibes to Washington right now.
It appears that DA Gascon is back. Shall we, would you like to try that again? Let me
Sure, you can bring him back and see if we can.
DA Gascon, are you there? Well, let's move. Oh, hello. Yes. All right, we'll catch up to him. So I believe we're on Keith Coyano for Superior Court Office 115. Is Keith on hand? Okay. Moving ahead to Superior Court Office 124. Kimberly Rebecca. Okay, Emily Spear. I believe someone is here to speak for her.
Yes, hi there.
Thank you for joining us. Let me spotlight you. All right, 3 minutes, please.
Okay. First of all, good evening, Culver City Democrats. I'm Judge Carol Nahida, and I'm here to speak on behalf of Judge Emily Spear. Why me? I'm speaking on Judge Spear's behalf because I have worked with her as a colleague for several years, and before that, many years ago, I also worked with her as an attorney. This time, it really is a time to talk about why Culver City Democrats should endorse Judge Spear. Well, I think the answer is twofold. First, we'll talk a little bit about her work. Judge Spear practiced criminal law when she first took the bench. But when she first took the bench, she was immediately assigned to family law. She had to learn an entirely new discipline in a few weeks. And she stayed in that discipline for 3.5 of her 4 years on the bench. That is amazing for those of you who are lawyers in the group, to learn a new discipline in a matter of basically weeks and then be thrown in to do it. But she did it. She also came in at the time when, about a year later, the COVID hit. And in 2020, when many of the judges were off and they were just doing very low-key court, Judge Spear volunteered, and although she was assigned to downtown LA, she covered for many weeks a family law court in Long Beach. She is now assigned to Inglewood, where she covers, and I've spoken to her, I wrote it down, Judge Altus Hudson is her site judge. And my understanding is that she will cover criminal, family law, restraining orders, unlawful detainers, and traffic. I must confess, I have been a judge for 9 years, and if you were to, right now I'm in a criminal court, and if you were to throw me into family tomorrow, I'd be struggling. Judge Spear goes from one discipline to another seamlessly, basically on a daily basis. I was lucky enough to be in a luncheon meeting today with our presiding justice, our chief, the presiding judge of LA County and the assistant presiding judge. Sam Jessner, our presiding judge, was talking about the fact that there is and these are her words and I love them, there is a new ethos to the court system. And what it is, to paraphrase, is that we have to get rid of the thinking that sometimes if you're a judge and you worked in criminal, you will always work in criminal. or if you worked in civil, you will always work in civil. We no longer have the resources to do that. We have to have judges who can jump from one discipline to another seamlessly. We do not have that in the court right now, but that's what they are working for. And the thing about Judge Spear is that she is already there, and everyone would agree with that. In terms of her public work, she has worked tirelessly to support LGBTQ and women of colors to become judges. She has helped many of them to become judges. This has brought some hostility from some right-wing characters, but that doesn't matter. It's long overdue. Oh, is that it? Okay. There's more, but you know what? You have my email. Email me if you have any questions. All right.
Thank you very much. Superior Court Office 130. Christopher Darden, you're up first. Let me put you in the spotlight. All right, please go ahead.
Thank you. Good evening, and let me introduce myself. I am Christopher Darden, and I am running for judge of the Superior Court in seat number 130. I have to confess that I am the most qualified candidate for judge at the Superior Court in this county, and the most qualified candidate of anyone running right now. I was admitted to the California Bar in 1980 and quickly became a deputy district attorney in Los Angeles County, where I served until 1997. As a prosecutor in the LA County DA's office, I prosecuted gangs, I prosecuted sexual assaults, I prosecuted domestic violence, and I prosecuted just about everything on the spectrum in terms of violent crime. In 1988, I was assigned to become the assistant head deputy of the Special Investigations Division in the DA's office. Our responsibility was to investigate officer-involved shootings, excessive force by police officers, police misconduct, and public official misconduct. If you look back through the years at the LADA's office to see when a police officer was actually charged with the murder of a citizen, you'll see my hands all over that case. Many years ago, a white police officer shot and killed a tow truck driver at Florence Boulevard. I was in the unit investigating that shooting, and I complained to my superiors that the investigation was not thorough. It was not progressing as it should. And I said something that upset everyone in the room. I said the community will not stand for us turning our backs or whitewashing this investigation. I was immediately brought up on charges. I was accused of being a racist. My job and my career were on the line. Ultimately, the DA saw the case as I saw it, and that officer was actually prosecuted for murder, a murder committed while in uniform and on duty. Long before many other people realized that there was a problem with police officers and excessive force and bad shootings and murders committed in the line of duty, I was there pushing those cases, looking into those cases, and doing everything that I could to protect the community. And in the past 27 years, I've been a defense attorney, making sure that the people I represent, the people that appear in front of the LA County Superior Court, are properly represented. On more than 2 occasions, I've helped individuals who were convicted be freed because the evidence presented against them was false. I'll look out for you, and I'll look out for the innocent, and I'll look out for the downtrodden if I'm allowed to serve as a Superior Court judge.
Thank you, Mr. Darden. Is Leslie Gutierrez on hand?
I'm here.
All right, let me spotlight you. Please go ahead.
Thank you. My name is Leslie Gutierrez. I'm also running for seat 130. I'm a mom, I'm an immigrant, I'm a union member, I'm a public servant, and I'm a lifelong Democrat. And as of last night, I'm also the endorsed candidate for Los Angeles County Democratic Party. I'm endorsed by about 40 judges, including Holly Hancock, who was part of the Defenders of Justice last year, because she knows me and she knows my reputation as a deputy district attorney. I went to school at night, I worked during the day, and I graduated in the top 1% of my law school after only being in the country for a few years. For the last 12 years, I've been representing you, the people of the state of California, in court every day as a deputy district attorney. I'm assigned to the sex crime division where I prosecute some of the most complex and sensitive cases in our county. Every day, I make critical life decisions that affect people in profound ways. I'm prepared, I'm ready, and I'm the most qualified in this seat to continue making these decisions from the bench. Qualification is not a number of years, but it's what you've done within those years and who you are as a person, how you relate to the people that you serve. My experience is unique in that as I have been a defense attorney, I've been a prosecutor, and I've also worked for a federal judge. I joined the DA's office because ultimately I felt that it would be the most effective way to fight the inequities in our system. I felt that a very good, fair prosecutors could equalize the inequities in our system. And I felt that it was where I would be the most useful to you, our community. Diversity is vital to achieving a system that's viewed as credible and legitimate by our community. Diversity of experience, diversity of thought, sharing, increased inclusivity, which in turn leads to compassionate decision-making. There is value in electing judges who share common experiences with the people that they serve. The hardship that I've gone through as an immigrant, while not extreme as others, will help me bring a fresh experience and a fresh look on the bench that will lead to more compassionate results. My early exposure to diversity of backgrounds, of races, of gender identities have made me flexible and tolerant. There is value in electing judges from diverse socioeconomic backgrounds. I know what it's like to live in LA County without a car. I know what it's like to get governmental assistance. I know what it's like to put groceries on a credit card. And I know how it feels to be discriminated against. And while my experience are vastly different from people who cannot hide their skin color, the pain and fear that I've personally experienced when I was discriminated against drives me to protect you and to protect everyone else in the community. I believe in solutions that make sense. Having a family member that was mentally ill, I believe in mental health diversion. I believe in drug rehabilitation whenever it is safe and possible for our county. And I humbly request your support. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. I believe we can go back to DA Gascon now. Let me see how this will go.
Hello, everyone. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Sounds good.
Wonderful. I am going to keep the video off just so that I have good reception. First of all, let me apologize for not only not being there in person with you guys, but also, just how messy this whole thing is. But first of all, thank you so much. And I'll wait because I don't know if I should start yet or you tell me when to start.
Yeah, you're good. Go ahead.
Okay, well, listen, first of all, thank you so much for what you're doing. Our democracy depends on precisely having people like yourself that are willing to do this work as a volunteer. And, I don't have to tell you that our democracy is in jeopardy. I think we see it over and over again. And I think 2024 is going to be a critical moment in our nation. I'm very pleased to tell you that I got the LACDP endorsement last night. I also have the endorsement of the County Federation of Labor. I have the endorsement of 15 out of 16 clubs so far that have decided to endorse in this race. And I have the endorsement of every labor organization, union that helps workers deal with the issues that we as Democrats believe. And I have the endorsement 100% of all the unions that have decided to weigh in into this race so far. I am here to tell you that the things that got me elected in 2020 continue to be the same things today. We're doing the work. We're moving forward. We're hiring a lot of new lawyers. We've hired about 85 lawyers in the last 2 years, and we will continue to hire attorneys. We're shifting the culture of the organization at the same time that we see crime coming down after the pandemic, when we had increases in crime that were not only part of our community, but they were happening all over the country. I'm very focused in ensuring that we continue the trends that we're seeing with the reduction of crime, addressing organized retail theft, but also dealing with all the other things that we're having to deal with, like wage theft, environmental crime, quite frankly, dealing with police accountability, which was one of the major cornerstones of what I brought into our platform in 2020, and continuing to move forward to ensure that we provide a more equitable and a more fair way of dealing with prosecution in our county. Again, I appreciate deeply your commitment to doing this for our democracy, and I will be very honored to have your support.
Thank you.
Okay.
You're welcome.
So back to Superior Court Office 130. Is Osmond here? Okay. On to Office 135. Mohammed Fakhedrin. My apologies to his actual name. Georgia Huerta. I see you, Georgia. Let me highlight you.
I'm here.
Okay, you're ready. Your 3 minutes start now.
Yes. So, good evening, fellow members. My name is George.
I'm going to pause for a minute. Your video, you're coming through pretty choppy, so you might have to go off video to get a better audio connection.
Okay.
Okay.
Try that right now.
I think, yeah.
Again, I'm Georgia Huerta. Okay, again, I'm Georgia Huerta, running in seat 135. It's a privilege and an honor to be able to address you tonight. I want you to know that I want to be a judge in people's lives. That's what I've been doing for the last 30 years, working as a deputy district attorney with Los Angeles County. I make a difference, and I attempt to make a difference in the community that I serve as a public servant. I want you to know that I believe in the fair and equitable application of the law for every person. I, as a deputy district attorney in my first 10 to 12 years in the office, I tried over 80 cases. After trying over 80 cases, after about 12 years, I was put into a calendar court as the calendar DA. There I interacted with judges, defense attorneys, private and the public to resolve all cases in an equal and fair way. I want you to know that I had an opportunity to file cases for our office. I've filed over thousands of cases that law enforcement has brought to the DA's office to be filed. And I can tell you, each and every case I have looked at, if based on the evidence in that file, if it could not be proven beyond a reasonable doubt, I did not file it. I believe the filing position is one of the crucial positions in the district attorney's office. I did have an opportunity between 2018 and 2021 to work in our alternative sentencing, the Community Collaborative Court. And that court deals with individuals such as veterans, people who are chronically homeless, people suffering from substance abuse, mental illness, sex trafficking, or at-risk youth who find themselves in the criminal justice system when in many, many cases, they should not be there. And the purpose of that unit was to work toward rehabilitation and treatment, not incarceration. And I did that every day for 3 years. And I can tell you, it's the judge in that court that makes the difference. You have to know that these programs exist and how to use these programs. I am deeply involved in my community. My church is in South Central Los Angeles. I am a president of the usher board. I sit on the trustee board. I am the COVID coordinator for COVID-19. I am a leader in many of our ministries. Also, I work with the youth in the neighborhood, in the community. I'm a part of Project Lead with the DA's office. I want you to know that I want you to know that it's an honor and privilege to address you, and I ask for your endorsement. Thank you.
Thank you.
Great. Stephen Mack, you are up next.
Yes, thank you. Good evening.
Just let me get you on the spotlight. All right, please go ahead.
Good evening. My name is Stephen Mack. I'm running for judicial office number 135. My parents are refugees of the Vietnam War. They found their first home in South Central Los Angeles. That's where I was born. I grew up a block from Martin Luther King Exposition. And one of my earliest memories was not going to school because of the LA riots and the buildings around my school being on fire. My parents had a tough time. They were forced to move various places, taking me along. Starting a new life in Los Angeles is not easy, and it's something I keep in mind throughout my career and throughout my service. I went to Berkeley and joined ROTC. I enlisted in the U.S. Army as a cook, and then became a military intelligence officer. I served my country because this community welcomed my family in their greatest time of need. After some service, I went to UCLA for law school, became a JAG officer, which is an Army lawyer. My first job was a defense attorney representing soldiers who came from the very same neighborhoods as I did. They were accused of misconduct because of mental health, drug issues, after service and war. And I defended those soldiers in boards, before their command, to make sure justice was there. I myself deployed overseas. I deployed to Afghanistan in 2012 and served our country overseeing our operations, making sure that we followed the law and the Geneva Convention. I had a choice after deployment about what to do. I decided to come back home and serve my community. I became a prosecutor. I've been doing that for 10 years. My current assignment is in the gang unit. I prosecute MS-13 cases, murder cases, and 18th Street cases. I serve my community with this in mind, and this is why we are Democrats. Government and good governments affect us all. It affected my family and their decision to come to the States. It affects how our people live in our community. And soldiers who go overseas, I train them about what to do and how to think about their law and their responsibility. One thing I tell them is that many times when we grow up in LA, from the communities we think of a they that is not someone that we can influence. But in the military, when you go across overseas, you are now the they. The influence that you have on people you meet are the most impactful parts of their life. And you represent what America is. When I serve as a DA, when I meet the community, when I talk to people and meet them in their time of greatest need and greatest hurt, I remember that our government must represent what is the best of our city, our community, and our country. Thank you. Stephen Mack, seat number 135.
Thank you.
So obviously we are going to go over time, but we are in the home stretch. There is one more judicial seat, and then the County Party Central Committee, and then the school bond. There's someone from that campaign. So let's move on to Superior Court Office 137. Also, as long as I'm talking about the time, I want to just thank all of the candidates and all of our members and all of the campaign staff who've been, very patient throughout this meeting and participating, giving us your time. So let's move on to Office 137, Michael Berg.
I'm here.
Please go ahead.
My name is Michael Berg. I was born and raised in the Valley, in San Fernando Valley. At a young age, I started working with my father. He owned a butcher shop in Granada Hills. And I was a meat cutter from the age 15 until I went to law school. So I had a whole career before I was a lawyer. I'm married. I have two wonderful daughters. And I am running for judge of the Superior Court, seat 137. I have a lot of experience. I have been in court daily from 2008 until today, minus COVID. I represent people accused of crimes. I'm a criminal defense attorney. I also represent victims of crimes. When I say, well, how do you represent victims of crimes? Sometimes it's as simple as going with them to file police reports. Other times it's giving their wishes to the prosecutor, what they want and what they don't want, or making sure that the defendant in that case doesn't get a deal that they don't want, and they want to make sure they're heard. Unlike my opponents who don't really have much experience, as I said, I've been in court every single day. I am a big proponent of mental health diversion. I've had lots of my clients have mental health and drug abuse issues. Make it brief, I had a client who called 911, said he was going to kill himself. He's giving me permission to say this. Police arrived, LAPD arrived, saw him standing in the middle of the street with a big knife. They called the mental health unit. They did the right thing. But as they were waiting for the mental health unit, an ambulance came between the LAPD officer and my client. My client started going toward the ambulance with the knife. LAPD reacted. And to make a long story short, he ended up chasing the LAPD officers with a knife. In the police report, it said that they were going to use deadly force on him, but they could never get a clear shot. They ended up taking him down and arresting him. You can imagine the slew of charges he was facing. He had no recollection of actually what happened. At arraignment, I got him into a substance abuse and mental health program. And eventually I did mental health diversion, and he completed it. And the person he was back then doesn't exist any longer. He's a new person. He's doing amazing. And this is why I'm a big proponent of mental health diversion. That's an extreme case. I have lots of other cases where I've done the same thing. If elected judge, I would ask to be placed in Lancaster and Pomona. I think those places are a little rough, and I think I can do a lot of good out there. So I thank you for letting me talk, and I hope to get your support. Thank you.
Thank you.
Great. Tracy Blount. Is Tracy on hand?
I do not see her or them.
Herrera. Right. How about Diana James?
Nope, I don't see anyone. Unless there's someone else, I don't see anybody.
Well, then let's move on to the LA County Democratic Party Central Committee. And Gina, you are in charge of this part because I'm a candidate. So I'm
okay. And can the people who are on for Central Committee, can you just raise your hand? I just want to get a count because I may have to drop our time a little bit. I have 1, 2, 3, 4. I have 4 people on, 5. Okay, so I have 5 hands raised. Okay, 6 hands raised. So I'm going to, just for the sake of time, give 2 minutes per candidate. Don't hate me. I just don't want to keep people over, especially for all of us who were on LACDP last night. Okie doke. So I will drop the hands really quick. I just wanted to get a count and lower all hands. And then I'll just go off of this list that we have just from the ballot. Okay, starting with, sorry, I have too many screens. I think the first one I saw that's here is Vilma.
Hi, Gina. Do you hear me?
Yes, hold on, let me find you and I will highlight you now. There we go.
All right, great.
Okay, you're 2 minutes. Okay.
Great. I wanted to thank the members of the Culver City Democratic Club for the opportunity this evening. My name is Vilma Dawson. Although I'm a relatively new member of the club, I've been in local Democratic politics for the previous several years as an alternate to Jackie Hawthorne on the county committee from 8054, which is now 8055. Jackie unfortunately passed away earlier this year, and the delegation elected me to serve out her unexpired term on the delegation. As a member of the county committee, I've previously participated in the ballot initiatives and the resolutions committees. I've also engaged in local politics by organizing the nominating caucus for the 37th congressional district during the 2016 presidential campaign. volunteering in CADM's voter protection hotline for the 2020 presidential cycle, and working to defeat Governor Newsom's recall in 2021, as well as supporting the election of Democratic candidates at both the local and national level in the 2022 election cycle, also known as the famous Red Wave. I'm presently on the CADM Executive Board appointed to the Credentials Committee, and participated this year in the organizing caucus, the e-board, and the endorsing convention in Sacramento, working the proxy desk on behalf of Credentials. If elected in March to the delegation, I'd like to focus on the reduction of gun violence, the banning of assault weapons, and limiting the sale of high-capacity magazines, as well as identifying local opportunities to leverage the $45 billion infrastructure investment from the Federal Infrastructure and Jobs Act. I'd like to ask the Culver Democratic Club's endorsement in the upcoming March primary. And thank you for, giving me this opportunity.
Thank you. Okay, so next on this list, I have Lindsay Carlson. Lindsay, did you pop back in? I think I saw you come back in.
Yeah, I'm here, but I'm going to decline to speak. Thank you.
Okay. Awesome. So then going next after Lindsay, oh, too many screens. Is it Elisa?
Alyssa.
Alyssa, sorry.
Good evening, Democrats. Good evening, sisters and brothers. My name is Alyssa Gold. I'm a resident of Exposition Park. And I just want to say, first of all, thank you to Jeff, to Gina, to all of the Culver City Democrats for this opportunity. I wanted to thank you for supporting me for ADEM from Assembly District 55, along with my friends Leah Pressman and Pam Sparrow. And I'm currently running to represent you on County Committee. I've been either an alternate or a full member of County Committee since 2014. During my first stint as an alternate, Jimmy Woods Gray introduced me to my husband, Gus. So we have a really good delegation from 8055 in this area. A little bit about myself. I'm the immediate past president of the Miracle Mile Democratic Club. I'm a member of the Los Angeles City Planning Commission, where I'm working to bring a lot more housing and a lot more affordable housing to every part of Los Angeles. And most of all, I am proud to be a union side labor attorney. So I'm proud to be helping to create the housing, not just the affordable housing, but the housing that will result in jobs for our workers in Los Angeles. So I'm running for this position for the same reason I ran for ADEM earlier this year. We need more people who come from the clubs, who come from the grassroots in positions of party leadership. If we don't have that, then we risk having our party become unresponsive and disconnected from the rank and file Democrats in our county. If you attended the meeting last night, you know that there is already the risk of that happening and how you can see how it can happen. It's astounding that there was ever a possibility that we wouldn't endorse Nithya Raman, one of the strongest proponents of affordable housing and renter protections on the council, or that we wouldn't endorse Serena Oberstein, a strong Democrat running against a scandal-plagued Republican, or that we wouldn't stand with our unapologetically progressive DA, George Gascon. Thankfully, the rank and file of the party stood up and endorsed our good progressives, but we need more of us on there. Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, so next, I'm sorry. Next I have, is Daryl on? Wait, I lost his Zoom. Oh no. Okay, Daryl's not on. Then up next, sorry, I'm like having a little bit of technical difficulty with this list right now. All right, then Leah is next, Leah Pressman. And Leah, are you there?
Yes, I'm here.
Okie dokie. I will pin you. There we go. Go ahead. 2 minutes. There we go.
Hey, okay, I'm Leah Pressman. Many of you club members know me from my work on the club e-board as the chair of the Politics and Elections Committee and also of the Legislative Committee. So I'm running for Central Committee, and as the e-board member from the Assembly District 55, right now I'm already a voting member there, and I'm running to continue to serve. I ran with the Forward 55, whose slogan was unbought, and unbossed, along with Alyssa Gold, who just spoke. When I was collecting signatures, I was explaining what I was about as a candidate, and then someone glanced at my water bottle and said, "Is that yours?" And I said, "Yes." And she goes, "Okay, I'll sign your ballot petition." So I thought I would just demonstrate my water bottle. I've been supporting a lot of progressive Democrats throughout the state and very much in Culver City. So yeah, over the years, which yeah, I'm committed to pushing the party to action on issues like Medicare for all, protection of LGBTQIA rights, a Green New Deal, housing justice, reproductive rights, renters' rights and protections, and ending the criminalization of poverty. I believe that the California Democratic Party should be a party that fights poverty, who represents working and poor people, not the 1%. The party cannot fight for justice if it's beholden to interests such as fossil fuel companies, big pharma, healthcare corporations, corporate real estate, and law enforcement. And thank you for hearing me out.
Thanks, Leah. Okay, so now I think I've got my screen set up to where I can read right off the list, and I am able to check and see who's here and who's not here. So Jeff, you're up next.
Okay, well, let me spotlight myself too.
Okay, thank you.
So my name is Jeff Schwartz. I'm finishing my third year as president of this club. I also served a 2-year term as a ADEM and also 2 years on the Culver City General Plan Update Advisory Committee. Why do I want more of this? Well, in the last couple of election cycles, LACDP's endorsements for Culver City have been bananas. They have definitely not matched with what this club has chosen or with what I believe are the values of the Democratic Party. I think, if you go to our club website, you can read around 30,000 words that I've written over the last 3 years about local politics. But to summarize, part of having a one-party system means that everyone who is serious about getting elected tries to get in this party regardless of their ideology. So the fights over what the Democratic Party means are incredibly important, and everyone who is not a lunatic harassing Sydney about space travel is a Democrat. So that means a lot of different opinions. And the other thing is that with no real competition, the party there's a temptation to become involved in power brokering and making decisions based on relationships rather than values. So we've seen a lot of that in LACDP. And last night, I was very proud to be eavesdropping on that meeting and seeing our friends and allies reverse that and support actual progressive candidates who will win. So that's why I'm running. Thank you.
Thank you, Jeff. Okay, next up, Pam Sparrow.
Hello, everyone. Thank you, board, for this opportunity to speak to everyone. Can you hear me?
Yep, we can hear you.
Awesome. Thank you so much. Again, my name is Pamela Sparrow. I was a part of the Forward 55, elected from Assembly District 55, and was appointed. This is my second term as a delegate. I was appointed last time during COVID by Mayor Bass, but this would be my first term on the Central Committee. I have been in local politics for about almost 30 years now, but have always sat on the sidelines and kind of worked on the national level in our presidential elections, but have decided that it is more important in our local communities to have a voice, not just of diversity, but of someone who is willing to bridge. We, as progressives, yes, we need to have that voice, but we need to also listen to the voices and make a committed decision about the Democratic Party and where we would like it to go. I am labor. I'm a part of SEIU Local 1000. I am a delegate and steward there, representing our employees in the work, our union members in the workforce. I am also a commissioner on the Metro West Side Council.
That's time.
Oh, I apologize. Thank you so much for the opportunity.
No problem. Thank you. Okay, and then next up I have Miss Jimmy Woods Gray. Miss Jimmy, are you there? Hold on.
I'm here. You went through that list really fast.
Okay.
Good evening, Culver City Democrats. It's always a pleasure to be with the Culver City Democrats because I always learn a lot of new things, and I appreciate and value what I have learned over many years of being a member of this club. I started off as a grassroots Democrat, and I remain a grassroots Democrat. I'm a grassroots Democrat who's a union member and known to be a troublemaker. Most people ask me when they see me, are you staying out of trouble? Because I'm the one who's kind of like a watchdog. Let me see what these people are doing that they're not supposed to be doing and try to straighten some of the things out that we need to have straightened out, because you have to have somebody who's watching to see what's going on in this party and be able to speak up and tell them when they're not doing what they're doing. I believe that the biggest issue with our party is protecting the democracy of this country. Without the democracy of this country existing, we are going to be lost for many things. We need to do that by electing good Democrats in this state and other states. So if you have the ability to help other people in other states, help them too. And with this democracy, we'll be able to have great health care. Many years ago, 30 years ago, I talked about health care for all. I still believe in health care for all. Everybody needs a good health plan. We need to protect the rights of everyone to vote. If we don't have the right to vote, we will lose our democracy. Women have lost their rights. We need to protect the woman's right to choose. That is extremely important to everybody. And hate, we must do something to do away with this hate in this country and in this world, because the hate that we see today, it cannot be tolerated. And we must do something about it. We just cannot continue to live with that. We have a lot of issues as Democrats. We have gun control. We have contributions to campaigns need to be controlled. We have many issues that need to be controlled. I just ask you for your vote so that I continue to be a watchdog and a grassroots person working in the Democratic Party, helping them to stay on the right track.
Thank you so much, Jimmy. Okay, so that is all that I have for county committee. I think the only thing left right now, Jeff, is the last thing is the bond. Is that correct? Or the city?
That's right. Yes.
Is it
Mila is here to speak about that.
Mila?
I think I'm supposed to speak about it with Meredith. So thank you so much for having us. My name is Mila Moraga Halls. I'm the co-chair of the bond campaign with Meredith Johnson, which is also on the call. I have been a Culver City resident for around 20 years, and I'm also a homeowner for 12 years. And I'm here today to ask all of you to endorse the bond that will be on the ballot in March to improve the infrastructure of our schools. As most of you know, the infrastructure is pretty old. Schools date back to the early 1950s, and they have not been renovated. Students need up-to-date instructional technology and libraries and science labs to have a good education. This bond is supposed to be for around $358 million, so it will be a good amount to tackle a lot of the issues. We have leaky roofs, falling ceiling tiles, deteriorating plumbing, wiring, drainage. We need to update science labs and libraries and also improve our technologies. We just also fire safety, emergency communication, school security. We just need to modernize our schools urgently for our kids. I also want to assure everybody that all the funds that if the bond passes, all the funds will remain under local control and can only be used to improve the infrastructure of our schools, nothing else. There will be an independent citizen oversight committee that will look into how the bond is being spent, and will be funded by a levy of around 6 cents per 100% of assessed property value. And I don't know if Meredith, you want to say anything or add anything else?
Sure, I'd be happy to. One of the most important reasons why it's important to support this bond is because when the state funds public schools, it doesn't provide any monies for facilities. It only provides money to teach our kids, which is super important. But if we don't pass this bond, we have $0 that we can apply to actually renovate and make our schools worthy of 21st century learning. So we encourage you to support our kids by voting yes for the bond.
Yeah.
Thank you so much.
And there will be time for all the members to speak on candidates and